Tom Brady has found his new landing spot. He's expected to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, let that one sink in. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. Evan, we're talking about the Bucs. This is not a storied organization. This is not a team from his hometown in California. We're talking about the Bucs. How surprised were you when this news broke that he's expected to be the next quarterback in Tampa Bay?
Well, I think I was as surprised as everybody. It's perplexing, to say the least. About this move is just bizarre on so many levels. As you said, it's the Bucs who right there really with the Browns, the Lions. This is one of the worst organizations historically in the history of the NFL. Their only relevance really is winning the Super Bowl the year after the Patriots won Super Bowl 36 against the Rams, so Super Bowl 37. Really their only relevance in their entire history until now. So this is by far bigger than winning a Super Bowl. This is the biggest Tampa Bay Bucs storyline in the history of their franchise, and I don't think it's even particularly close. But with that said, there are some boxes that they do check. They have a great supporting cast for Tom Brady, one of the best receiving corps in the entire NFL, with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and two pass-catching tight ends. And obviously, Bruce Arians is the type of coach that gravitates towards a lot of players. He's a player's coach. He's way more laid back than Bill Belichick. He gives players tons of freedom on the football field to kind of play their game and play their style of football. So Arians is a very bright coach. He checks the box of stability and just a successful head coach in this league and a guy that really can coach offense. And then you have the supporting cast, which might get even better, as we're going to talk about here in a second. Well, maybe hypothetically. So it does sneakily check some boxes. Brady obviously wanted to stay on the East Coast. I think that the warm weather climate was definitely a Giselle request on the docket, and she might have gotten something that she wanted in that scenario as well. I remember she had done some sort of a Q&A on Snapchat, I think it was recently, where she said, you can't take the Brazil out of the girl. You know, I love New England, but it's a little cold up here. So I think that there was definitely a little bit of warm weather joggling going on between husband and wife on that one. So sneakily checks a lot of the boxes. Not the decision we thought he would make, not the conventional decision. It's not LA, it's not Vegas, it's not San Francisco, like you mentioned, going home. But at the same time, there's some reason and some logic behind it.
And you mentioned the impressive wide receiving core, the two tight ends that are good pass catchers. But there's also reports swirling around that Tom Brady wants Antonio Brown to be part of the deal. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could potentially bring Antonio Brown back in with no guaranteed money. He would have to earn his spot on the roster week after week. But why has Brady and Brown become this kind of package deal? And is this even a possibility?
I never thought I would see the day, Sierra, that Tom Brady wanted to play with Antonio Brown more than he wanted to play with Julian Edelman, because that really seems to be the situation right now, is that Tom Brady is saying to teams other than the Patriots that if I'm going to sign with you, you need to bring Antonio with me. And for whatever reason, Brady just has become infatuated with Antonio Brown. And I think it goes back to that 1 week of that gloriful 1 week of practice that we had in September, where every single player came off the practice field and off the record told every single beat reporter that would listen that Antonio Brown just absolutely put on a show at practice. Yeah. And we're talking about touchdown catches and acrobatic one-handed catches and getting open against every Patriots corner. Stephon Gilmore having trouble covering him. That type of kind of just buzz coming around the Patriots locker room of how good it was with Antonio Brown on the practice field. A lot of comparisons to like what it looked like in 2007 when Randy Moss was out there running around with Tom Brady. So I think that Brady got infatuated by those 3 or 4 days and was like, this guy's unstoppable. He's the best receiver I've played with since Moss, and we need to get him on my team going forward. And he has become I would say borderline obsessed with having Antonio Brown on his next team. I mean, we're really in a territory now where Brady has completely blinded himself to all of the concerns that people have around Antonio Brown off the field and is solely focused on getting him back into a football uniform. So it's disappointing to me to see Brady hitch his wagon so kind of just matter of factly to a guy like Antonio Brown, because I truly thought that he understood kind of the implications of what Brown was doing off the field.
Well, there's no signing date for Brady and the Bucs, and the details of the deal have not been released, although it's expected to be multiple years at around $30 million a year. But we'll keep you updated with all that information as it comes out on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our new YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.